Yes, everyone, good morning and welcome back to Forever United TV. 19th of August, into the last 2 weeks of the window, we've got updates on Manchester United's hunt for a goalkeeper, what's happening in that department and all the rumours around that. Big ones this morning as well, with an update on the goalkeeper from Fabrizio Romano himself, the midfield situation and where we're at with that, more talks on who Manchester United might go for instead of Carlos Baleba. Obviously, we've got updates on the bomb squad, including Garnacho and what's happening with his transfer. Obviously, the big update last night was Jadon Sancho. A little bit more on that this morning also as well. Rasmus Højlund has another 2 Italian clubs after his signature right now. All of that news to come as well. And of course, all of your live chats and everybody getting involved in the show this morning. Welcome along, everyone. If you are playing catch up, please do get your comments in below on all of these topics. And I'm going to answer the question straight away that you're all asking. Adam, why is Diogo Costa on your thumbnail? Well, we'll start with the goalkeeping situation and where we're at with that at the moment. So, if you listen to Fabrizio Romano this morning, he's talking up Lamens and talking about him being the only goalkeeper Manchester United are going for. We'll come on to that in a moment. But Manchester United have always been in touch, and one of Ruben Amorim's choices, as we've reported on and as we have spoken about before, I think pretty much near enough 2 months ago now, Diogo Costa. The only reason he's on this thumbnail, the only reason he's in my title today for this is because Florian Plettenberg has come out and said that Galatasaray have bid 20 million euros for him. Now, straight away, you're thinking, if Galatasaray are bidding 20 million euros, you're making something happen. Like, seriously, Manchester United, if an opportunity comes about, and Romano and everybody else has always said, if the right opportunity comes about, then Manchester United will be interested. We know Ruben loves Diogo Costa. We know conversations have happened as soon as long ago as January, in fact, that conversations were happening. That was the talk at the start of this window, Diogo Costa. If he becomes available, then I'm sorry, Manchester United need to ditch any Seny Lamens offer that they're thinking of putting in and go for Costa. That will change Manchester United's outlook this season completely if that's available. Now, we don't know for certain exactly how far down the line this is, what Porto are going to accept. It's just a bid that is official, apparently, according to Florian Plettenberg. They've had one bid with both by City for Ederson, and as we know, we thought that City were going to sell Ederson to Galatasaray, but City have said no to their offer. So, when you look at this from Plettenberg and him saying now that they've put a 20 million euro bid in, I mean, that's 20 million euros, so what's that, around about 18 million quid or something like that? You're in the realms of Seny Lamens' price. Now, of course, it's not going to go for that. He's not going to go for that price. But if he's available for 30 million euros, you're making that happen. You're telling Bayindir you're out of the door. You're trying to make something happen with Andre Onana. Now, the talk on Andre Onana is that Ruben Amorim still isn't certain. And I think what we're going to see here is, and I just want to use an example on this. Remember in the summer, in the pre-season tour. Now, I know Ruben had that press conference on Sunday. Everybody's talking, he's happy with his 3 goalkeepers. Yeah, okay. But go back, cast your mind back to the pre-season tour in the US when Rasmus Højlund scored that goal against Bournemouth. We was halfway through the tour and Ruben Amorim was talking openly about how well Rasmus Højlund was doing. He's scoring goals. That's important. We're seeing improvement from Rasmus Højlund. 2 weeks later, we signed Benjamin Sesko and Rasmus Højlund is completely out of the door. Rasmus Højlund costs more than Andre Onana. Rasmus Højlund is costing more each year than Andre Onana for Manchester United. All I'm saying in this scenario is that don't take what Ruben has said in a press conference as gospel as to Manchester United not looking for a goalkeeper. I actually think with all the noises going on, and there have been more around Andre Onana and a potential move away from Manchester United. Last night going into this morning, we heard about the Inter Milan connection and them monitoring the situation. Ruben Amorim not happy and still telling Manchester United he wants a goalkeeper and a midfielder. I think what's going to be key here is if Altay Bayindir starts against Fulham this Sunday, then I think the writing is pretty much on the wall. We're following the same pathway here. This will be, obviously, Onana being dropped for the last game of the season against Aston Villa. And then, obviously, not picked ahead of Bayindir for fitness reasons against Arsenal. But then being fit and ready to go for Fulham will be key. And I think this weekend we could see some kind of indication of where Ruben is leaning to here. Because he talks with his feet and his actions. We know this. When he speaks, we listen to what he's talking about football-wise and improvement of players. But when it comes to transfers, there's been one clear thing with RUBEN AMORIM. Don't take anything he says as a gospel or as a definite, because it isn't real. He is just saying what's necessary. If the goalkeeper comes up and the opportunity is there, he's out of the door. Ornstein at Old Trafford on Saturday. Keep an eye on Andre Onana's situation. There's something that could happen. Not saying it's going to, but still could happen with Andre Onana this window. I'm literally praying and crossing, touching wood, everything I possibly can to make this happen for Manchester United. But I am sorry, just to put it into context, like, if Galatasaray are in for Diogo Costa, then Manchester United need to be telling Andre Onana, you're gone. Find the football club. And let's not forget, the Saudi Pro League is still open. The Turkish League is still open. Their transfer windows, that is, after September the 1st. Could Manchester United have something lined up where Andre Onana, even if he goes on loan, Manchester United bring a keeper in? Then we deal with Onana next summer. Maybe an option or an obligation to buy. Look, United need to be moving mountains right now to try and get deals done. And the goalkeeping situation, literally every single pundit, now I don't agree with them all the time, as you know, but every single pundit, every single former player, anyone who's watching football or watching Manchester United enough will know that if United don't change the goalkeeper this summer, then this season is going to be hard work for RUBEN AMORIM. There are still reports coming out that RUBEN is banging on that door to Jason Wilcox, Vival and Omar Barada, get me a goalkeeper. Now, Diogo Costa, it's a far shout, I know, but I put him on that thumbnail this morning simply because I know we've talked to him before. I know RUBEN is interested in him. I know RUBEN has a good relationship with him as well. And this was in January. So if he comes available, and like United always have been, if the right player becomes available, then we're in. We go and we make it happen at the right price. He is a goalkeeper that is of the highest level for Manchester United, and I think he's another one up there that's probably going to be cheaper than both Emi Martinez and Gianluigi Donnarumma in terms of wages and what it's going to cost Manchester United. I just think it's a very, very sensible investment for United right now, and I feel like United, really, if this does come about, I feel now that it's the right time to actually make something happen in-house, as in tell Onana, tell Bayende, act like you are with Rasmus Højlund. Why is Rasmus Højlund so different to the goalkeeping situation right now? Why are we having to put so much trust and belief in goalkeepers that have proved that they're not good enough for this football club? This is something I just don't get, and I don't understand why it's different for one and not for the other. Rasmus is costing as much as both of them players put together per year in his wages and his transfer fee. So why are we forcing him out and we are not trying to get Onana out of the door? I would be moving Bayende. I would be moving Tom Heaton out of the way if we couldn't move Onana out of the way, just to bring in another goalkeeper, then bring through an academy keeper. Heaton is never going to play. It's not going to come to that point. I would get rid of him and his wages and Bayende's wages and make something happen and try and get someone like Diogo Costa in. And Onana's going to have to sit out, and that will make him move away if he's not playing. I mean, United have got a chance here just to make something happen with the goalkeeper. And you know what? I think a lot of fans will look at this and say, like, if we do this, then they are really serious about this season pushing forward. Because, yes, the midfield, we'll come on to that in a minute. That is a big problem for United. But clear as day, if you have got these two goalkeepers as your 1 and 2 this season, games like Arsenal are going to happen. We're already one game in, and the same thing that's happened last season and cost this club massively has happened again. United need to act, and they need to act like a proper football club here and make this happen. It's serious now for Manchester United, this. We've seen a lot of progress on that pitch in one game and throughout pre-season. This now, I think, has to go on to the next level. And I think Manchester United should seriously be looking at the likes of Costa. Look, if Donnarumma is far out there, Emi Martinez, like Romano said this morning, is way too much. We can't make that happen. Fair enough. But Costa, I don't think at these prices and what wages he will demand is going to cost Manchester United too much money. So I think it makes sense. It's there for everybody to see. If Galatasaray can do it, Manchester United need to make something happen. Maybe even just say to Galatasaray, there you go, there's Andre Onana on loan for a season, take him, and then we'll sell him next summer. It's just, there's so much that Manchester United can do in this window, and I'm not having that we cannot move Onana or Bayende on to bring in another goalkeeper. That takes us on to what Romano said. Romano is being very, very clear here, and let's be honest, I'm looking at a situation here that has come about from what Plettenberg said with Galatasaray, and I'm making a point here that if they can do it, United can do it. And I know we need to move a goalkeeper on, but even if it meant moving on Bayindir just to make enough room and have Costa in, if he's happy to put Bayindir ahead of Andre Onana, he's clearly going to be happy enough to put Costa ahead of him. It's kind of brought up from that story, and it isn't real, and United are not actually in for Costa, but why not? We should be. That's the point I'm making. On to what Romano said, though, and Seny Lamens is the only goalkeeper apparently Manchester United will go for if they do make a bid for a keeper. I think it's simply because he's cheap. Apparently, we can get Seny Lamens for cheap wages and 13 million quid. It's easily affordable, and to have him in instead of Bayindir, a lot of fans at Manchester United right now would go, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's better than nothing. At least we've got someone to actually challenge Andre Onana this season. And when someone like Lamens gets in and hopefully does well, then, of course, he can hold his own. And hopefully we've made an absolute steal of a signing. But it's all if, buts and maybes. And this is something that United have not done this transfer window. It's all been about getting the exact right player to play from the start. And Andre Onana is just in the way. Because Manchester United have not done enough to move him out. They're not putting the signals out. Why are you not thinking like you are with every other player? That is the big problem I've got right now with it. That's all. Look, we're picking at minor little issues within this team here. Well, it's bigger than minor, actually, isn't it? Because it's going to cost us this season. It might even cost Ruben his job. I just don't get it. I'm listening to reports and things coming out about Ruben demanding that he wants the goalkeeper and the midfielder still this window. Damn right he should be demanding that. And he should be asking, first of all, to get the goalkeeping situation sorted. And then let's see what will be created in the window in these last 2 weeks now with the midfielder. There's still time to make something happen in that department. But Lamens still looks like it's on. And I just think Manchester United need to be looking at the other keepers. They do. They need to be looking at Donnarumma and Costa and the big names. Characters, people that have been there internationally and played in the Champions League year in, year out, have played against the best and gone up against the best. They're not put off by these moments in games like Bayindir will be, because that's our only hope past Andre Onana. Then that is going to be a massive problem for Ruben Amorim this season. So, yeah, that's the point on the goalkeepers I wanted to make at the start of the show. And that has already taken us well into the show, actually. So, yeah, I'm going to come into the comment section and get your thoughts on this as well, everybody. So, get your comments in there, please, and let me know what you think about this. Look, if Galatasaray can go for Diogo Costa, then why are Manchester United not going for Diogo Costa? I'm sorry. If he comes in, you can move Bayindir on. You can get an Anagon next season. Then in comes Vitek as your number 2. And I think you're sorted for life. Goalkeeping issue, done. Look, it's a big season ahead for Manchester United. And if they go and spend money now on Seny Lamens, and he comes in and turns out to be another player that isn't going to dislodge Andre Onana, because he hasn't been tested on the big stage. Let's not forget that. He hasn't. He's never come under Manchester United pressure. And if he can't dislodge Andre Onana, you've just got an expensive Bayindir upgrade. Now, look, I've seen the videos, I've seen the clips, I've done as much research as I possibly can for Seny Lamens, and it just falls into insignificance because he's not played on the big stage. Donnarumma has, Costa has, and Costa's available. He is available. And I think Manchester United need to be taking this seriously. I really do. I think there are better goalkeepers that Manchester United can still get their hands on. And I think it is important for Manchester United to go out and make something happen with that, because it's going to scupper Manchester United's season. And everything and all of the good work that Ruben has done, I think could be undone by this and things like this. So, yeah, that's my point on this. Vitek has been so solid. Vitek has far been so solid for us. His presence is top class at set pieces, and his shot stopping is really good for someone so young. Shame United don't trust him. He could save you millions. To be honest, no, I don't think he's ready. I think it was the right call sending him out on loan, to be honest, Gary. I really do think that he has got potential, though. And I think next season he could come in. But the big question is here, isn't it? Like, I know Vitek is coming through. I know you've got Eli Harrison coming through the ranks, highly thought of at Manchester United. I know this. But can we afford to let that happen this season? Can we afford to go through this season? And I'm talking about the now. I know the future is there. Is there enough in Bayende and in Andre Onana? Like, Bayende's game was fine up until the corner. And this is something that is going to keep on happening. Because believe it or not, corners happen quite a few times in a game. And Andre Onana and Altay Bayende have come unstuck on corners constantly for Manchester United. Constantly. The last 2 appearances for Bayende, he's conceded 2 goals from corners. He needs to be organising things better in there. Is he vocal enough? Is he good enough? All of these questions coming in. This is what we need. Sheffield United aren't tough on the SHIT players as they were on the staff. Diogo Costa, difficult to go ahead. Dean Henderson back to Manchester United. Yeah, no chance that's going to happen. Let's see a few more comments in here on this one. Now, Anthony, Sancho, Garnacho, Onana, Bruno Fernandes sell new players, sign Manchester United. Yeah, Paul says, guys, if we are all thinking of Heaton over at our other 2 goalkeepers, then as a fan base, we all know we need a top-class goalkeeper. Costa is Portugal's #1 and has been at the top level for a long time. I think it's that moment now. I think for him, Diogo Costa, that is. I think for Manchester United, RUBEN AMORIM, things need to move forward. I'm just going to update you on everything that is happening right now. This is what's on the goalkeeping side of things, just to add context to what's happening at United right now from Samuel Luckhurst. With Heaton in his 40th year and Bayende and Onana unlikely to start a 4th consecutive season as #1 and #2, Vitek is well positioned for promotion if he continues his solid start. Yeah, well positioned, but not this season. That is the killer in this one every time. As matters stand, pursuing a #1 goalkeeper is not on the cards again from the Athletics. Why? What are they looking at? I'm sorry, I get it what Laurie Whitwell and the Athletic are saying, but they're just reporting off what's been said at Manchester United. I do not understand the thinking behind this football club if they feel that we don't need a goalkeeper. It is clear to every man and his dog that we need a goalkeeper. I don't know what they're doing. The decision to bring on Manuel Ugarte before Kobbie Mainoo again on Sunday underline concerns over whether he has a place in RUBEN AMORIM's long-term plans. This is from Mike Critchley and Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic. All of these little stories coming out here. United will carefully weigh up whether to spend more money at the time when they need to make sales. Making a move for a midfielder is not guaranteed. Like, Whitwell is absolutely destroying Manchester United fans with his comments at the moment and what's happening. But honestly, again, I still cannot believe that. I cannot believe that United are not looking right now. There has to be something in there. They cannot be convinced by one game already and the same mistakes happening that Manchester United are going to be okay this season with these goalkeepers. Is RUBEN really trusting in the forwards scoring enough goals to cover the mistakes of what's going to happen in goal this season? I just don't think, even with Cunha and Bumo and Sesko, which is fantastic, there is enough there to take Manchester United forward. A goalkeeper could mean 2 places in the Premier League. I'm sorry, it is that vital. Get it sorted, Manchester United, because every other club above us has got a quality goalkeeper. And there's a reason why they're above us. It's because they've got a quality goalkeeper. It's freaking there, isn't it? In black and white. The league table does not lie. And these 2 have played a huge part in Manchester United having their worst season ever. Now, I'm not saying that the rest of the team doesn't get away with it. Everyone, shocking. Absolutely shocking season for United. But come on. Like, everyone knows that these 2 are going to do the same things. You're not going to be able to make Bayende and Onana better goalkeepers. You're not going to turn them into a different player. Like, you can do it. You can move players around the pitch and get them used to certain positions. They can run harder. They can get stronger. But reflexes, you're not going to be able to make that better at the age of these 2 goalkeepers are. It's just not doable. Inter Milan are monitoring the situation around Andre Onana ahead of a potential move, with speculation still growing over his future at Manchester United. It's far out and not really significant story enough for me to get excited about. Just noises again. But this, I think, has been brought up by what I've been saying here. All of the noises around are everybody talking in a way like they cannot believe that United haven't actually made a move already for a goalkeeper. Another one from Romano. Andre Onana and Inter Milan reports are not true. Like I just said, nothing happening there. Joshua Zirkzee is not available on the market. United has been very clear to Napoli and Inter on Joshua Zirkzee. We reported that last night, but Romano also killing off, like I said there, the reports of Inter Milan monitoring Andre Onana. I think the stories are being brought up with no real facts behind them or input behind them. I just think that there is, I think, a genuine feeling around the football media world that they still cannot believe that Manchester United haven't sorted the goalkeeping situation out. And this guy will let United down this season. 100% he will let us down this season. We know it. I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything and he's bad for the squad. He probably is great for morale and everyone loves him at the football club and he's a character. And buying characters is something that Manchester United have looked into this season, but also with high-end recruitment have looked into characters and quality at the same time. And I guarantee you right now, if Ruben Amorim had his choice of every single position, let's for instance, if Ruben Amorim could pick any of the players that Manchester United brought in, let's say the 2 seasons before he came in, so let's just call it, actually, let's just, all of Ten Hag's transfer windows, not having to go at Ten Hag here at all, before everyone attacks me thinking I've got a big issue with him still. Well, let's just take the 3 years before Ruben came in, them summer transfer windows. Would Ruben Amorim have bought any of them players? Would Ineos have bought any of them players? You could maybe say 2 or 3 maybe, out of all of them. It just goes to show, I don't see Ruben going for any of them players that Manchester United brought in. And that's telling you something. Ineos would never have bought Bayindir. They never would have bought Andre Onana. It was poor recruitment, poor scouting, and horrific management from Manchester United. It really was. This is what we're dealing with right now. Like we say every single show. Their hands are tied because of the mistakes that have come before. And this is going to be a massive, massive problem going forward for Manchester United. And again, it could be next summer, but is it too late is what I'm saying. Is it too late? That's the big worry that I've got right now. Let's get a couple more comments in on this one. Sorry, I need to sneeze and it's really annoying me. Excuse me. Sorry, that's been bubbling for bleeding for ages. Let's get Andreas with his super chat says, this season goalkeepers are available. Who can we get next year? Goalkeepers are available. Who can we get next year? However, I think he looked unsettled the whole game with this gets out of the press very well. So he can't get out of the press very well. I don't get me wrong, I thought Bayindir was okay. I said this in my vlog and my reaction after the game. But at that point, I'd not had a chance to watch back the mistake. I thought his passing wasn't too bad. But again, like you need these attributes and you need this type of profile of player guaranteed. And that's what all the other clubs have got, and that's the difference. Adam, relax. I am the new keeper. Seriously, I would have kept Heaton until Christmas and played Vitek after that. That's how we rebuild for the long-term success. Experience feeding the future. Played a 40-year-old Tom Heaton in goal ahead of the 2 players that are costing Manchester United a small fortune. In Bayindir and Andre Onana. Well, not so much Bayindir because he's on quite cheap wages considering how much footballers are being paid at Manchester United these days. David says, sorry folks, but regards Costa, he'll get battered on set pieces. That looks good with the ball at his feet and shot stopping, but he'll give me heart attacks every corner we concede. I don't know. Like honestly, like there's lots of people saying that Donnarumma can't come for crosses, or he's rubbish in collecting crosses. I heard Julien Leron, who was obviously watching quite a lot of PSG throughout the seasons he's been there, and he's not great at coming for crosses. Look, I mean, you look at David Raya. As long as the goalkeeper's brave enough not to be bullied, I think we've got enough. Like these goals are all the same. Coming in over the keeper's head and bang, in it goes. It's happened so many times with Manchester United, and it's going to keep on happening. Teams know where our weakness is. As long as you've got a goalkeeper that's willing to stand up there and punch above somebody's head and get the ball away, then you're going to be all right. He doesn't need to come and claim the ball. As long as you don't get bullied and you can get something on it just to get it away and it doesn't go in the net. That's all we're asking for. Yeah, they may come a second phase of the attack because he's cleared it to the edge of the box, but at least it's not gone straight in. Like, they're pretty much guaranteed to concede every single set piece, Manchester United, in games at the moment. That's how it looks. And that's how nervous it looks. You just need someone with presence in there. Anyway, moving on to the midfield department, actually, and more stories around Angelo Stiller as well from Stuttgart. Now, again, being passed off, obviously, it's not a Carlos Baleba, but Manchester United looking at potential players to come in. The future of Kobbie Mainoo have been brought into question there by The Athletic. Again, like Agate coming on. If it's Agate coming on ahead of Mainoo, I don't know where Mainoo fits. I said this on the day. I said it yesterday as well. I just don't know. And I've always said this. He will not start games for Manchester United. There isn't enough games this season. Are we pushing Kobbie Mainoo to the exit door with the way that RUBEN set this team up? We're fully behind what RUBEN wants to do. And unfortunately, Manchester United are in a position here where they've got a player that they don't need, who is a good quality player as well, one of our own. And I honestly feel like next summer, or even in January, there could be a clamour for Kobbie Mainoo's signature. Just keep an eye on it. But in terms of who we're bringing on, Agate every single time, if it's Bruno and Casemiro, is it going to be Casemiro coming on for Agate? If Agate starts, look, we tried the Agate and Mainoo combination on tour, and he did all right in one of them games, but then fell away against in the Everton game. He was poor in that game. Obviously, again at the start of the season, in the game against Arsenal, he wasn't great there. But looking at other options, there is still stories going around that Manchester United could look at Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart. Now, obviously not anyone's top choice, but for 34 million or on an improving player who is composed on the ball and now turned into a German international, obviously helped them win the cup last season as well. But looking at it there in the German Bundesliga, there are 4 goals and 11 assists from defensive midfield, from DM position. That's significant. That's good. That's someone who can pass a ball. That's creation. That's obviously reading the game, I feel, there. And it's no wonder he's now found himself in the international fold with Germany as well. And you think of the players that are in that team, just to be in the mix there says you've got something about you. And again, like don't be surprised if Manchester United pull a surprise package out, because I think midfield and having another option there is going to be crucial. If you've got someone who will just sit and will do that job there, then someone like Stiller, I feel, is probably the best option for Manchester United at this point, at the price he is. Because you've still got enough money there. Sales could happen. You could sell Garnacho, Rasmus, Sancho, Anthony, Malacia over the coming days and have some money there to bring in a player for 34 million. He's 24. He is a very, very good player. Yes, he isn't a Carlos Baleba. He's not an Adam Wharton. But you never know until these players come in at this price. All of the attributes and calmness. Antonio Rudiger talking about him, did some research into that as well, and just blown away by how calm he is on the ball and composed he is on the ball. That's something that Manchester United need. You've seen how Manuel Ugarte played the other day. Is there a chance that Manchester United could dip into the market and just find a little gem somewhere? He's not a little gem. He's 6 foot, by the way, as well. So he's strong. He's great passer of the ball, composed, reads the game well. It is the German league. He's not played in the Premier League. I get it. He's not proven. And will Manchester United spend any money at all if they feel like it's going to take it away from Carlos Baleba coming in next summer? I have my doubts. I do. But I'm just throwing it out there because the talks are still there. And if we're going to bring anybody in, I could only see it being a player like this. I don't think United are going to spend over 40 million on a midfielder. If you can bring someone in at that price who will do a job for you, who has got proven international experience now for Germany and has performed well in the Bundesliga last season, then really, I think United need to be thinking outside of the box and potentially bringing someone else in. Because if it's going to be Agate, then you're going to get the same situation you had against Arsenal. That lack of composure. He's been working on this system all summer, Manuel Agate. And when it's come to the crunch in the big game at the start of the season, he's come on and he's fluffed his lines. Look, he could get better this season, and I hope he does. He's the same age as a Stiller. So realistically, you're hoping that Manuel Agate is going to come in. And I've said this all along. Don't forget, you're hoping Manuel Ugarte is going to get better. But I've said this all along, and I'm not going to go back on what I said. If you're going to bring somebody in, he has to be better than what we've got and has to go straight into this side. Would still go straight into Manchester United starting 11 next to Bruno Fernandes? You could argue yes. You could argue no. It's a tough one. And is it worth spending that money if he isn't going to be the best of what we need? But then again, are we going to sell most of our midfielders next summer? Like we've got Casemiro's definitely gone. Ugarte number might be up. Mainu, like I just described there, if he's not going to play, then I can't see him staying. I really can't. And Bruno Fernandes. There's 4 central midfielders that Manchester United could actually be looking at in the transfer window next summer that might be out of the door. So maybe we do need to invest early doors this season, get someone in who is the right type of player alongside Carlos Baleba coming in next summer. Again, just thinking outside of the box and potential moves that could happen. And if you ask me right now, do I think it will? I don't. Honestly, I don't. I'm waiting for more significant news to come through. And I'm throwing out all of the options and every single report, like I said, I would do, just to give everyone something to actually cling on to in this window, because the fears and the worries are there. As much as we've seen improvements, Manchester United, if they back RUBEN AMORIM this tiny little bit more, then I think we've seen enough in that opening day to know that Manchester United, under RUBEN this season, can really make a go of everything that they want to. I think all of the cups and the league getting back into Europe are on for Man United this season. Manchester United will carefully weigh up the pros and cons before spending more money, and the recruitment of a midfielder is not guaranteed. That was from Whitwell. I just said that a moment ago. Baleba wasn't the only athletic midfielder targeted. Top of the list, debates over the number 6. Other options are Wharton could be considered. Manchester United appreciate Tillman and weighs up spending money. A midfielder move isn't guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. That's all we're hearing at the moment. No one's willing to put their neck on the line, it would seem, in the media world on Manchester United bringing anyone in that we need right now. So, yeah, just don't expect it. Expect the unexpected is probably our best hope, isn't it? Like, are we going to get a surprise? Are we going to get this hidden gem come through at Manchester United in the last couple of weeks of this window? I'm scared. I'm still scared. Like, the goalkeeper scares me more than anything right now. He really does. A few super chats to get through. Man lost still hurts. I need United therapy session. It says, Umar, I'm here for you, buddy. I'm here for you. We're talking Man United. I'm still confident with what I saw at weekend. I've listened to every pundit talk about it now, and everyone. I listened to Martin Keown on TalkSport yesterday. Danny Murphy on Match of the Day. 2 former players that have been absolutely lambasting Manchester United and RUBEN AMORIM since he's been at the club. But both saying they've seen real problems for Arsenal in the way that RUBEN tactically set up on Sunday. There is room for optimism, I feel, for Manchester United fans, and that game showed it, but we need to back it up this weekend. By the way, this weekend we are doing a watch along here on FUTV for the Fulham game, so get involved, and we have got match bingo specials as well, everybody, so make sure that you do check them out as well. More on them towards the back end of the week and what we're actually doing. We're also going to be doing a giveaway on OK jerseys as well. If we hit 98,000 subscribers, we're giving a replica shirt away. 99,000, we're going to give 3 replica shirts away, and then to celebrate the 100,000 subscriber mark, we're going to give 5 replica shirts away of your choice. So stay tuned for that, everybody. We have to get up there. All you got to do is like and subscribe to the channel, and you're in. Anybody could win that draw. More on that as we get closer to them landmarks as well, everybody. But that is on. Block with a super chat says, thoughts on the club replacing the anti-Glazer banners from the Stretford end and replacing them with lame flags. Is free speech now banned at United? Didn't notice, mate, to be honest, because I think I was in that stand and couldn't see. So thanks for pointing that out, mate. And obviously, on top of that, the nightmare that fans had in getting into the stadium. Graham, who is in here, who's a mod here on this channel, sent me loads of videos and pictures. He was in that crowd trying to get his ticket sorted on the day. Bit of a nightmare for Manchester United. And like Block says there, taking things down and giving the fans a voice, upping the prices of everything as well. You know, wrong, as good as things are on the pitch, like, they do still need to remember that this Manchester United fan base has suffered before, and little things are always going to be picked at. And Block's just picked another one out there with a super chat. Thanks for the super, mate. But yeah, that probably, again, is not going to go down well with the fan base, and will eventually, if things don't happen on the pitch, like I said, anything happening on the pitch completely outweighs anything going on off the pitch. So if United are successful, then little things are going to be forgotten about. But if things start to go south again, then little things like this that Block's picking up on are going to be picked up by all of the hardcore Manchester United fans and the supporter groups, and it's not going to go well. And then all of that builds into that negative vibe around the football club yet again, and we've got the same problem as we did last season. The fans are right behind the team at the moment, and it needs to stay that way. Little things like this are not helping. Manny with the super chats. There is a small ingredient we lacked last season but seemed to have developed over the summer. Aggression. That's why if we buy anyone, it's Martinez. He's an aggressive nutter. As in the goalkeeper. By the way, Romano completely killing any Emi Martinez story now. He said it is dead. It's over. Not a chance. United will not be getting Emi Martinez. Agate is holding mid. Kobe isn't. He replaces Bruno. But then again, is Kobe Mainu got the engine that Bruno has? No. And in Ruben's system, you need that. Kobe doesn't. I get what you're saying, Andreas. Again, he says another one. Why don't we get Martinez at Prem proven for F's sake? We can't. Romano said it's not happening. We can't build around Bruno. It's madness. I don't think next season we are. I think I've still got a tiny feeling this is Bruno's last season. I do. If we don't get Champions League football, then I don't think Bruno's got anything to stay for, because his contract will be over. And I don't think Manchester United are going to renew Bruno after this one. Not into his 30s anyway. United will back Ruben, just not in one window, people. This is a 3-window rebuild. But we can get a goalkeeper, Manny. We can get a goalkeeper. Thanks for them super chats, everybody. Keep your comments flooding in, everyone. Make sure you please do hit the like button as well on the video. We're well over 500 now. So thank you again for that. We'll move on. We do have a poll running, by the way. Will United buy one more player in this window? Yes or no? 77% of you with over 1,000 votes early doors on that poll have said, yes, we will. I am happy that you're all saying yes. You're giving me confidence as well that United are actually going to buy a player. We need a player. Remember when I was talking about David De Gea the other day coming back to United? That riled a few people as well, didn't it? But well, you've got to look at all of the options. You've got to look at everything that's on there for Manchester United to do. And I hope the football club are giving serious consideration to these potential moves for other goalkeepers. They really do need to look at this. And I think it is massively, massively important that they do look at any option possible. Now, news on the outgoing side of things as well. Quickly, first of all, on Alejandro Garnacho. Move pending. We know where we're at with it. Like Romano said, advanced stages, conversations going on. Last time we heard it was around about 35 million. That was just rumoured. We don't know for definite where Chelsea's price is for Garnacho at the moment. But that Simon Stone has reported that Manchester United bracing themselves for a bid from Chelsea, an official bid. Where it's at, we don't know. So looking at it right now and where we're actually at with the whole transfer itself, the talk of Chelsea needing to move players on, I think Christopher Nkunku to Bayern Munich is key on this deal happening for Garnacho now. Bayern are trying to get Nkunku cheap because they know that Chelsea don't want him. Chelsea are trying to get Garnacho cheap because they know United don't want him. So I think coming in, I think they want around about 43 million quid for Nkunku. I think it's a very similar price for Garnacho. When you look at the situation, I think Manchester United would accept 40 million with sell-ons and things like that for Garnacho. I think that's just where they're at right now. And I do believe that if Nkunku is sold, similar sort of prices, I think each player is going to go for a similar price. I think United will end up taking 40 for Garnacho. I think that's what's going to happen, personally. I think that's the price that they've got in their heads right now with the circumstances anyway. And I think it's all going to come down to Chelsea moving on Jackson or Nkunku. But I think Nkunku's probably closer to moving than Jackson, because Chelsea's price of him is astronomical. I don't see them getting what they want for Jackson. But look, go for it. And then obviously they've got the money to bring in to go and get Garnacho. Rasmus Højlund, there is talk that Napoli have actually put a bid in for Rasmus Højlund. I've not seen anything significant to say that is definitely happening. No, I'm not. But we do now know that Napoli are in contact with United via Fabrizio Romano. The loan, no. And again, the loan that Rasmus and United both don't want. They would both prefer it to be permanent. So this is a togetherness between United and Rasmus. So watch that one for the end of the window. But also, Atalanta, apparently. Yes, the former club that absolutely ripped us off for him are now coming back in just to rip us off again and take him on the cheap, maybe. Now, they are monitoring the situation, Atalanta. That has been said from James Horncastle, a reporter, who's talking about this morning. You may see this story floating around that Atalanta may come back in for Rasmus Højlund. Nothing in terms of offers from them. The biggest talk at the moment is AC Milan, and the loan with option is still their preferred transfer at the moment. And Manchester United are not having it. They don't want the option. They want it to be a obligation, like it would have been with Jadon Sancho at Roma. More on him in a moment. But I think Manchester United are trying to tempt Milan in the loan, similar to Sancho, the loan with a lower obligation next summer for Rasmus Højlund. Around 30 million quid. Like 30 to 35 million will get you Rasmus Højlund right now. And someone will grab themselves, I think, an half-decent player there in another league at that price. Who is going to make that bid? I think there'll be a point when we actually do get to talking about Rasmus Højlund leaving, and there'll be a point where Manchester United have to make a decision on it. And there will be a point when they have to make a decision on all of these players. We said yesterday, we just let them all rot. Like, I'm not talking about Rasmus here, I'm talking about the bomb squad. Besiktas are in for, obviously, Tyrell Malacia, we know that. And there is offers from the Saudi Pro League as well for Tyrell Malacia. I can actually see Malacia and Sancho going after the window closes. I think Garnacho and Antony desperately trying to get European clubs. Nothing at all on Antony at the moment. Jadon Sancho, again, Romano with the update on Jadon Sancho this morning was pretty much what we already knew. Manchester United have made it clear to Sancho and his people that the only offer of any significance that they're willing to discuss at the moment is the Roma one. But Manchester United are aware of Jadon Sancho's plan to consider different possible proposals after rejecting ASA Roma on Monday. That was Romano's quotes there. United insists for Sancho to find a solution as soon as possible. That was Fabrizio this morning on his latest tweets. Now, we know this. United, I'm not saying that he has to move to Roma and that's the bid that they're going to accept. What they're saying is that that's the only one so far that's come anywhere near what they're going to accept. So get working, Jadon. You greedy bleeder, is what Manchester United are saying to him. Otherwise, he will rot. Because I think Manchester United will sell Garnacho. I think Antony will go. I think Malacia will go. And I think Jadon Sancho has got a real problem and a decision to make. But he has got the get out of jail, which is the Saudi Pro League and the Turkish league. I'm actually hoping right now that he doesn't find a club in Europe, because then if he's that desperate to play football, United will get more money for him if he goes to the Saudi Pro League or to Turkey, because them offers have been decent and have met what Manchester United want, and they will meet Jadon Sancho's wage demands. So don't be concerned if Jadon Sancho doesn't find a club before the window shuts. I've not got an issue with this man just sitting there and rotting, but at least he's got the Turkish League and the Saudi Pro League to actually fall back on, and I think he'll be forced into going to them clubs. So I'm actually, do you know what, in a way, thinking about it and sitting there having a conversation with myself, I'm thinking, yeah, do you know what? Don't find a football club. Don't find a club in Europe, Jadon, and then we'll just let you rot. That's how I feel anyway. I'm quite comfortable with that happening right now for a few different reasons. Obviously, like I just said, with Turkey and Saudi. But I am completely content and happy to let this man destroy his career by playing in front of the under-10s on the other side of Carrington every single week and not playing football. I don't care anymore. I really don't. I think Manchester United need to stand up to at least one of these players. And do you know what? On this, like actual... this sounds really stupid, and you're going to be surprised that I actually say this, but credit to Rashford and his people for actually making Barcelona happen. When you look at the other numpties that we're dealing with here right now at Manchester United, at least Rashford, and don't get me wrong, I'm not praising him for anything, but at least he managed to get a deal done before the start of the season. Someone who actually wants to play football. And I said this with Rashford. He will make a move happen because he knows he's in Tuchel's thoughts. And he knows he needs to play for the World Cup. This is probably one of Rashford's last chances, I think, to get into a World Cup. Because heading into the next World Cup, he's going to be hitting his 30s. And I don't think, with the other quality strikers coming through and forwards coming through in England, that he's going to be part of it. At least he realised that he had to make that move happen. Sancho is a waster. And so too is Garnacho at this moment in time. And them two alone, like... As much as I don't want to see him again, I want to see them suffer if they don't make this happen. I want Man United to stand up to these players and their agents and say, oh, well, yeah, it's your career now. You're not going to play for RUBEN, by the way. You're out. So you've got no club now. Good luck. Honestly, I'm happy with that happening right now. That's how I feel inside as a fan. And that's just my inner thoughts just speaking out loud. I know football talk needs to take over here and sense needs to prevail, and we need the money. We need to get the wages off the book. But honestly, I'm not going to try and be this financial expert or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you as I feel as a fan right now who goes to all of the games, who loves my football club. I'm sick to the back teeth of players taking the absolute mick out of the fan base, out of this club, and just using it as a bank just to fund their lavish lifestyles. I do not give a toss anymore. Honestly, I would love to see their careers suffer because of their attitude to this football club. I really would. They have got no thought whatsoever for the fans. Garnacho or Jadon Sancho. None whatsoever. And they're the ones that are paying their lavish lifestyle and their wages. So, yeah, that's where I am at as a fan right now. When I'm looking at it seriously, with my brain, not my heart, I'm going, we just need to take some form of cut price offer and get them out the door so we can go and spend it elsewhere and give RUBEN a real chance. But you get where I'm coming from, don't you? Like, you understand that I don't want that to happen. I want them to be sold for decent money, but I'm realistic as well that who in their right mind would want it? I made the point last night. Look at the players that Manchester United loaned out last season, have released this summer as well. Look, like, has Christian Eriksen found a club, by the way? I'm not bringing him up into this, but Christian Eriksen is a fantastic player and deserves to find another football club. I don't even know. I've not even looked into it. But not Jesse Lingard. Yeah, look where he is. Look at Victor Lindelof at this club for 8 years. Like, near enough 8 years. Like, no one's bought him yet. He's a free agent. If he was that good, and Manchester United was celebrating this guy. Celebrating him. But he's not got a football club. Again, look at the players that are out of Manchester United this summer. The only ones, like, you go through them all, like the 5-bomb squad, you got Rashford, the only one with a club. Then you're looking at the players we've released. Yes, fair enough. Evans is retired and got into employment with United for the loan scheme. Heaton is a reserve keeper, just happy to sit there not playing football. Obviously, Victor Lindelof hasn't found a football club. Toby Collier has been loaned out by Manchester United. That's it. You're looking at near enough what there? 9 first-team players for Manchester United on the payroll for Manchester United starting 11 from last season, and only 2 of them have managed to find another football club. In Collier, a young prospect who was going on loan to the Championship, good luck to him. Very good move, that one. Really happy for him. And Marcus Rashford, desperate to get into a World Cup, taking a pay cut to go and play for Barcelona. That's it. And Manchester United were bigging up all of these players at one point. And now look at him. It's staggering, isn't it? It really is. The state of what this football club has become with its squad and these players. Honestly, ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up there, everybody. Lots to talk about, lots of comments to hopefully get into the comment section once the live is finished. I do appreciate all of your comments coming in, everybody. I've got a super chat right on the end there I've missed out on. Sorry, 1 second. Let that melt. Sancho rot on the reserves grade bench. What the hell is wrong with these booth heads? Is that what it says? Booth heads. Malacia will be sold, no issue. Yeah, very cheap. And then Andreas at the end. Let Sancho rot. Worst attitude I have ever seen. Yep. I think a lot of people agreeing with that one. 670 plus likes in there. Give this video a like, please, everybody. Let's get that up as close to 1,000 as we possibly can. The poll says 79% of you feel like Manchester United will still buy one more player before this window finishes. That is the poll done as well. Make sure that you do tune in and go across and subscribe to our other channel, Football Talks, as well. The link is right there in the live chat, everybody. Check out the offers in the description as well. I'll have more information on the match bingo offers and OK Jerseys offers going into the shows throughout the week as well. Don't forget, the calling show is tomorrow night. It was supposed to be last night, but it's now tomorrow night. Like the video, please.